The views and opinions expressed on Unlock Your Wealth Radio are those of the host, guests, and callers only and are not necessarily the views of Unlock Your Wealth Radio, Heather Wagenhals, or Success Publishing International.
More willpower than a barefoot woman at a shoe sale. Able to stretch a single paycheck for an entire month. Makes money concepts easier than third grade math. Introducing your purveyor of prosperity, Heather Wagenhals.
Work all day, stress all night. Take your mind off your money and focus on your life. Money don't matter or the stuff it bought. It's the way you think, not what you've got, yeah.
Unlock Your Wealth Radio starts now. It's a money mind ride.
Yes, sir. On today's show, as a matter of fact, Unlock Your Wealth Radio.
Radio.
Wascally Wabbits.
The Elmer Fudd special.
Exactly. It's the Elmer Fudd Bugs Bunny special. Thank you.
That's all, folks.
Wait, it's not the end. We're just starting. Don't do that. How about take two? Unlock Your Wealth Radio is sponsored in part by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at heathersfreeaudiobook.com and click on the link to over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Welcome to the live show, folks. It's no holds barred here.
It's going to get good. I can feel it.
Yes, it is, because we have a frauds and scams special. But I just wanted to thank you personally for stopping by. We are so glad to have you. I'm Heather Wagenhals, flanked by the maestro of Moolah, Michael Terry.
Hey, folks.
The yuckster extraordinaire, I guess we could call him. And we will help you get your money mind right in a very funny way on today's show with these following great features. First off, today's key.
Uh-oh.
6.
Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
There we go. I was like, I'm hoping you'll get it right.
Yeah, I hope he gets it right this time.
Yes. Hope for the blessed. What he said.
Hope for the blessed.
Hope for the blessed. All you unblessed.
There is hope for the blessed out there.
For all the unblessed, those gentiles out there, the commoners, the unwashed. No, you're not going to be saved on today's show.
Yeah,
this is only hope for the blessed.
Yeah, exactly. No hope for the sinners. Just
exactly.
Hope for the blessed.
Well, yeah, exactly. That messes us up. We don't even get credit on our own show. That's bad. No, this is hope for everybody. But we're going to hope specifically for the best.
And plan for the worst.
And plan for the worst. As well as our moolah word to the day that has to do with our show special. And in lieu of guests, because of what's been going on lately and the overwhelm in the marketplace and the fact that we have a big book coming out that's proximal to this. This is, instead of a guest, we are going to talk about frauds and scams extraordinaire at nauseum today.
We got some good stuff.
We have to go over because you get to actually hear the scam artists in actions. We've got 2 specific ones, plus we'll talk about some other general ones on today's show, plus how you can deftly avoid those frauds and scams. And it's all about using our biology-based approach to money management. Yes, sir and ma'am. So that's our show for today. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Our key, by the way, has, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are returning but haven't listened lately, the Keys to Riches has now become its very own show because we just couldn't keep it in such a short, abbreviated 7-minute segment. It needed to spread its wings and become its own show. So the Keys to Riches, powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio, can be found at unlockyourwealthradio.com and also its own website, thekeystoriches.com. So just visit either of those websites, and you can also sign up for our free video series, our educational series, our foundational money management program for the Keys to Riches financial philosophy, also at keystoriches.com. So just go visit the website and you will be set, my friend. You will be on the road to financial freedom. How fabulous is that?
We love that.
Yes, we do. So, moolah word of the day, shall we?
Bring it on.
So since this is our frauds and scams special, I thought I would enlighten us by a definition, and then I can expand upon it. Like I always like to do, put my 2 cents in as well.
Right.
It's partial expansion of the definition, partial opinion here at Unlock Your Wealth Radio, as we know. So we're gonna let's talk about scams. Okay, so a scam.
That's the moolah word?
That's the moolah word.
Cool.
So our moolah word of the day is scam. And from investorwords.com, they have it defined as a fraud or an illegal or dishonest scheme in its informal sense. Many financial scams only come to light by accident. So I want to go like one step further. And this is what I talk about in my new book coming out this summer in July, specifically called Money, Credit, and You, How to Avoid Identity Theft, Frauds, and Scams. So a fraud can be perpetrated against us and not necessarily with our participation. I have been a victim multiple times. So I have lots of personal stories and anecdotes that I include in the book, as well as what we're going to talk about today, because these two made it in under the wire, where yours has been around for a while. But the scams that we're going to talk about today, a scam requires your participation. Whether you know it or not,
right.
It requires your participation in order to be scammed. So that's how we are delineating the difference between a fraud and a scam. Most scams are usually, when it becomes civilly or criminally pursued, you get convicted of a particular fraud, but you use a scam to commit the fraud. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. But like in my most recent incident of fraud, I experienced credit card fraud, and I had nothing to do with the credit card fraud. Somebody auto-generated and was able to guess the credit card, and they were able to guess the information.
Wow.
You know, just using computer software, and they were able to charge stuff. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit if we have time, because we've got a couple other really juicy ones that we actually have the information. The actual calls that were received. So since we have those, I want to discuss those so you can actually hear what's going on and see how easy it is. We'll review it and we'll show you how easy it is to fall victim to these things, number one. And number two, we're going to show you how to avoid them just using our biology stuff that we always talk about here at Unlock Your Wealth Radio and with our keys to riches. So anyway, so that's the difference between a fraud and a scam, but our official moolah word is scam. But, you know, many scams involve fraud of some sort of.
Wonder where the word came from. Probably scheme. Is it a variation from scheme?
Potentially. I don't have that much on this definition, but I should probably look that up to see what the variation is. But
it's obviously some kind of, it's a slang word. It was, you know,
right.
Probably didn't come out of.
Yes. So we should research the etymology of that. That would be good.
That's the word I was looking for.
Etymology.
Etymology.
I love that word. So so I don't have the etymology on that. However, I do have the evolution of confidence man to con man. And if you think about it,
okay.
So confidence is what they're doing to hoodwink you. Sure. They're evoking a sense of confidence, and they do this through building rapport. And you'll hear that clearly on the call that I actually am engaged in. The call that we're going to share with you was a voicemail left for you to make the phone call back, because I missed the call, and because I'm on, you know, the suckers list finally, which is exciting. I mean, most people wouldn't be excited about that, but I am, because it allows me to record all of these calls and find out what's really going on and expose these frauds and scams for what they are, just to help you more successfully avoid them if you haven't had the pleasure and opportunity to be victimized yet. Yeah. In the most politest, sincerest of senses. So so confidence man, con man comes from confidence man, and it's a confidence man because, you know, think about it. You know, the only difference between a confidence man and a salesman, and this is why salesmen get such bad raps, is because the confidence man is using the same tools and techniques to persuade you, but for unethical or illegal purposes.
And he doesn't have anything to give you in return, usually, right?
Well, I mean,
I guess he could. Snake oil.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, and that's what all of this has evolved from. So people think, oh my God, like nothing is really new. It's just the medium in which they access you has gotten larger. So they don't have to knock on your door. It's not the little like stagecoach that comes into town selling snake oil anymore. It's not the door-to-door salesman with the broken down vacuum or the rotting meats in the refrigerated truck. Okay. So now it's something different. It's not just through the postman. It's through your electronic mail. It's through the internet. It's through advertising. Yeah. So they just have a better way to get at you. And more ways to get at you. But the scams, they all boil down to the same type of scams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the frauds that they or the schemes that they perpetrate, or the cons, using more vernacular, are just all variations of some of the most original ones that were out there. Mm-hmm. And, so I think what we should do is listen to yours first and share the one that you have from the IRS. So when we think about frauds and scams, we need to take a step back and just think about biology first, because this is a biology money management radio show. So knowing what we know, and for those of you who haven't been here for the whole season, I invite you to go listen to the Keys to Riches in its entirety, from its first key through the 13th. Listen to a full, complete season, and then you'll understand more about this biology that I'm talking about. But suffice it to say, our instinctive drives is towards pleasure and away from pain. Okay. So it's the carrot dangling on the stick, and it's the flames licking your fanny that make you move. And most people, because of this natural inborn negativity bias that we have, we're always looking for problems. It's just natural and it's inherent in us. So to be in a blue mood or down, it's not unusual. To spiral into a depression is not unrealistic, because we have this natural negativity bias that has us looking for threats. Because even though there is a carrot dangling on a stick and an incentive towards pleasure, one of the things that's so powerful about our brains is that even the absence of pain can be considered pleasurable. And if you think about people who have been victims of abuse, whatever kind of abuse it is, especially if it happened as children, so your self-worth, that becomes your norm.
Right.
And so while it may, hurt emotionally to have words hurled at you telling you you're nothing, or it might hurt when you get pounded by somebody physically, not being pounded becomes the pleasure. Because being pounded on is the norm. So your thermostat, like you said earlier about getting adjusted, and you said, wow, it's getting toasty in here, let's flip on the fan. And I was like, well, my thermostat's off because I've been recording in a hot television studio for the past few days in a full suit, trying to figure out how not to sweat. Right. So when your personal thermostat is off, more people will move away from pain than toward pleasure. And if you think about it, if you just look at our social and hierarchical structures of society, that's true. Because how many people are uber wealthy versus everyone else? If you take Pareto's principle of the 80-20, so only 20% of the people move towards pleasure. But everybody moves away from pain. But not once they've moved away from pain, people just want to be, quote, comfortable. Sure. They'll tell you that. I don't need to be rich. I just need to be comfortable.
Sure.
Okay. Yep. And comfortable, is the underlying message is I just need to be away from pain. I don't necessarily need to be experiencing pleasure, but I just need to be away from pain.
I can relate to that.
And the reason why I belabor this point, because this scam that you received the phone call on has everything to do with moving away from pain. So when we think about the hierarchy of fears, because this call is pretty scary if had you not been a part of this radio show, you might have been like, what? You might have been caught off guard, depending on what was going on in your day, how late in your day that it came, how overwhelmed you already were. If you're dealing downstairs with a broken pipe in a flooded house and, the dog is snuck out and now you can't find him. You got all these things. And then this is the last thing that you need. You might fall victim to it because you're in overwhelm. So the ego is the most powerful force that we have. And so therefore, the ego dying, or its translation in normal English, is the fear of embarrassment, is the highest fear we have if we think about the hierarchy of fears. Actually, physically dying is the lowest fear we have. That's why we smoke too much, drink too much, drug too much, whatever we do too much. Yeah. So when we do these things that are detrimental to our health, it's because we minimize its impact on our health, because the fear of dying is the lowest fear we have, or one of the lowest fears we have. But the fear of embarrassment is much more great. It's the number one fear.
It's huge.
It's, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of embarrassment is high. And so if the IRS calls you and threatens you with jail time, repossession of your assets, seizure of your home, your neighbors are going to see that. Your work is going to know that if you don't show up because you're sitting in the pokey.
Yeah.
So this is a good example of playing on your fear. So let's hear this sample, shall we? Let's play the sample for the folks, and then we'll talk about what's inside of it.
Hello, this message is intended to Michael. Michael, my name is Don Ford, and I'm calling you from the Investigation Division of Internal Revenue Service. The reason behind my call is to inform you about the warrant which has been issued to arrest you. Now, before we forward your warrant to the local police of Connecticut, we need to have a word with you and try to rectify the situation. So do return me a call at your earliest convenience. My direct line number is 202-241-7649. I repeat, 202-241-7649. Please don't disregard this message and reach us as soon as possible.
I mean, it's just, it's, if you're gonna pull a scam, at least have somebody that you can understand. I mean, this is just so idiotic.
You would think that they would have better English. Now, I am not a linguist by any stretch of the imagination, so I have no idea what dialect that could be from. But clearly, it's a foreigner. Likely they're in a country that has either lax laws or little or no prosecution or follow-up for the laws that they do have in place. This segment of Unlock Your Wealth Radio is sponsored in part by KeepMyID.org, the only service that actually prevents identity theft. All others are just monitoring services. Put your credit on lockdown with their special offer for Unlock Your Wealth Radio listeners. Visit unlockyourwealthradio.com/KeepMyID to enroll and protect your financial future right now. Remember to use promo code WAGS. So as we listen to this, so they're playing upon your fear of ego death right now. So, and that is completely unknown to you. He was very non-specific. He didn't say how much you owed.
Right.
He didn't say what year the taxes were owed for. He was really nondescript in it, but he had your name. And he had a place that you lived, albeit 15 years ago.
Yeah, somewhere in Connecticut.
Yeah, somewhere in Connecticut, as he pronounced it, Connecticut. I thought that was great. I'm all, yay! Not an American, but not a native-born U.S. American speaker.
Definitely not.
So we were able to figure out that much from it. But just so let's play around with this. So you could potentially be an ideal victim. You know why I say that?
Not really.
One, because you're very conscientious about your money. And this I do know about you. Yeah. So that's why I that's one reason why, because you're very conscientious. So it's going to raise a level of concern, except for the fact that you co-star this show.
I mean, I'm going to interject here really quickly. This happened to me in the mid 80s, and a friend of mine did the exact same thing with a Pakistan accent or an Indian accent, whatever kind of accent that was, and it freaked me the hell out. But this was 30 years ago.
Right.
or 25 years ago, and I called my accountant right away, and she started laughing her ass off, because she knew it was a scam. But
Right.
this was going on 25 years ago.
Okay, but let's like explore this just a little bit. So imagine you are an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? You're responsible for reporting your taxes and your income
Right.
all by yourself.
Right.
So let's say that you're a small businessman and, you're like quasi-mathematical. So you think because I can add and subtract, I can do my own taxes. So let's say you just bought some software to do it, right?
Right.
And you didn't have an accountant to it. And let's say you fudged a little on expenses. You took some people out and it wasn't really business. You were kind of funneling things. So now you have some guilt.
Yeah, right.
Because you know what I mean? Borderline, they're
Right.
calling you on the carpet. You're like, oh my God, audit. So now they're like, you're panicking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if this wouldn't have happened to you a while back, you probably would have been more suspect. Because what did you do the first time? You picked up the phone and you called your accountant.
Right.
But if you weren't the accountant, like if you didn't have one, you would have just picked up and called the guy and went, what do you mean? Blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, you'd be verifying information over the phone.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. So preying on a business person. And again, if you're a business person, what does that mean? You probably have employees. You probably have people to answer to.
Mm-hmm.
You've got clients that you're dealing with, and then you have your own personal life where the pipe is broken. The dog snuck out. You've got a missing dog. You've got a flooded house.
Yeah.
And you've got to deal with this screaming customer that wanted their product done yesterday. So you're like, so you fall victim to this because again, it's the flame that licks your fanny that motivates you more than the carrot on the stick.
Yeah.
Now let's contrast this call with the multi-part series that I've been dealing with. And I unfortunately didn't have my call recording software installed on my new phone in time to catch the first part of the scam, but we did catch the second part this morning, as a matter of fact. And this is what said, you know what, we're doing a topic-driven show today because this is awesome. So I'm going to show you, and you'll hear me interacting with the individual, and you can see that I put them off. But at first, I put up some objections as you listen to this, and I want you to listen to the call and see where it goes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello. This is Heather Wagenhals telephoning. I just received a phone call from this number.
Okay. Ma'am, we are from the Quick to Assist, ma'am. Remember you made a payment last time for your computer services in our company?
I'm so sorry. Can you start again? I didn't catch any of that. My phone cut out.
Ma'am, my name is David, and I'm calling you from Greek to Assist, ma'am. You remember you made a payment last time for your computer services and protections a couple of days ago?
I don't think so. What payment was that?
Yes, ma'am. Yep, ma'am, you made a payment for your computer services and protections. And what happened, ma'am, now? I'm extremely sorry because as we promised you that we will provide you with services on your computer. And now what happened, ma'am? The services which we have provided you has been expired from your computer because our company are not able to provide those software in your computer, ma'am. So that's why we are calling all the customers to give their money back to them who has taken that software. And you are one of that customer, ma'am. So we have called you up also to refund the money back to you also.
Okay.
Okay, so I do believe, ma'am, that you want your hardy money back, right?
Well, I guess. I don't remember making a payment, but...
Yep, ma'am. Ma'am, but we have that information that you made a payment, so that's why I'm calling up you. Okay, so do one thing, ma'am. Just take your sweet time, go in front of your computer, turn it on, so we can refund the money back to you right now, ma'am, within 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm not near my computer.
So take your time. I'm on a hold.
You're going to hold for 7 hours when I get back to my computer?
It will take you 7 hours to go near the computer?
Anyway, that's what I said to him, and the rest of the call is just him making time arrangements to call me back. But what would have happened if I would have continued on and if I would have actually went to the computer? Because this started a few days ago when they called me, and they got into a shouting match with me, which is so ironic. And I'm so upset that my call recorder app wasn't on because that would have been such a good one because I had him on the phone for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes, okay? But and so they're trying to scare me with the virus, right? So that tactic didn't work. So they're reversing the game here. So if you notice, this one's completely different than the one that you had. They were scaring you in the one you had, but now they're motivating me by dangling the carrot. How about a refund? And I'm thinking, I didn't buy this, but I'll take free money. If I was financially destitute, if I was struggling to make ends meet and you offered me money over the phone, heck yeah, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, you'd probably
I'm going to go to your website, and I already know this. I mean, I'm so sad that I didn't have the call recorded, because when I got off the phone, I thought for sure, I was like, oh, this is a good one. And then I forgot I didn't install all the apps from my old phone because I hadn't taken the time. And I was like, what? But this is so good. But, so here's, so there's an example of dangling the carrot. So if they didn't catch me by my 80% drive to be scared, now they figured out I'm probably in the 20%. I'm driven, towards pleasure. So now that I'm a towards person, they know this. But what's interesting is each time before the call of theirs, I received a robo-dial that hung up, and then I received another robo-dial with an automated message saying, do not hang up. This is not a sales call. You have been referred by someone you know for a free wireless home security system. What do you think they're going to do with that?
Yeah.
Monitor everything in my house?
Yep.
And they clearly don't know who they're calling, which I think is the most ironic thing. If you Googled my phone number, it would be the Unlock Your Wealth Foundation office. Like, how do they not Google to see who I am? You know what I mean? And on the first call, when I was arguing with the guy, I'm like, what is my name? He couldn't even give me my name. He's like, hold on, please. You could hear him taking the time on the computer. And then some other guy picked up the phone and started shouting at me to distract me while I was waiting to find out. Because I was saying, if my account information is in front of you, tell me.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. So here's the bonus of today's show. And the reason why I wanted to make it, because I'm going to give you some quick tips and techniques here that you will find in my new book, plus a whole bunch more from Money, Credit, and You, How to Avoid Identity Thefts and Frauds and Scams. And by the way, if you want to get on that pre-registration list, please visit moneycreditandyou.com so you can sign up for the newsletter and the announcement so you can pre-order this book today. So in addition to knowing that these are frauds and scams, anytime, because this is biology-based, anytime you feel extreme emotions like, oh my gosh, you're super scared, or oh my gosh, I'm super elated, any tug in one direction or the other is your I do from the Three Amigos talking. And what he's doing is he's sending a message, because remember, he is your first line of defense. He's your instinctive brain, and he's on a subconscious level saying fight, freeze, or flee. And he's going to dump hormone. And the minute that happens, you will not have access to logic layer, your third brain, where reason, critical thinking, and logic occurs. You won't have access to that. So when you feel that tug one way or another, like, oh my God, my prayers are answered, they're going to take and give me all this money, I just won the lottery. Or like, I'm going to threaten you with jail time if you don't pay your IRS tab. In either case, what you need to do is break state. You need to stop the interaction. And so the first thing that you can do is start breathing deeply. Take a few deep breaths. Walk away. If it's on the phone, set it down. If it's a piece of mail, put it aside. And then go walk over and get a drink of water. You can electrochemically change your physical state with water, because water is conductive to electricity. And so you can start raising and moving that hormone that's been dumped out of your system just by movement around. Have you ever been in an argument and the words don't come to you, but afterwards, like 20 minutes after, you're like, I should have said that instead.
All the time.
That's because you didn't have access to those critical faculties. So that's what you need to do, is break state and turn the tables on these folks. And then once you can be detached and calm down, and again, it's going to be 15, 20 minutes. It's not going to be instant. Mm-hmm. So you got to walk around and really burn this off. Exercise if you can. Do some squats, leg lifts, go walk, take a walk, especially outside, fresh air, treadmill, something. Change your place, change your space, and change your physiology. So if you're sitting down, stand up, get up, go. And you've got to move that stuff out of your body, and then you'll be able to be more rational and reasonable and realize, oh my gosh, they're just trying to play upon my internal drives.
Yeah.
And that's it. So thank you so much for joining us on our special episode today. And for more in-depth interviews with money experts, strategies, and members-only tools to fix your credit, get out of debt, and have more money and happiness, do what other savvy listeners have and visit unlockyourwealthradio.com, where you go to get your money mind right so your wealth and happiness will follow. For Unlock Your Wealth Radio and the maestro of moolah, Michael Terry, I'm Heather Wagenhals. Now go out and unlock your wealth today.
UnlockYourWealthRadio.com is produced by Heather Wagenhals and the Unlock Your Wealth Foundation. UnlockYourWealthRadio.com and its affiliates are copyrighted 2016 with all rights reserved. For more information on the Keys to Riches Financial Wellness series, please visit our website at www.unlockyourwealth.com.